Now, today, some of the most important people in the world will be in the Austrian village of Telfsboken. Except me, of course, I have to present this show. Why? For the global powwow known as the Bilderberg meeting. It's a secretive annual conference attended by many of the world's biggest power brokers. There are no minutes, no press reports, no interviews. And it's occasionally held in glamorous locations such as Cannes, St. Moritz and Watford. Watford? Okay. Some see it as a sinister conspiracy to create a mysterious new world order, with one theory holding that it's run by a race of humanoids descended from lizards. I actually believe that. Previous guests at the meeting include Prince Charles, President Obama, and the Prime Minister. This year, the 133 attendees include Henry Kissinger, Google boss Eric Schmidt, Chancellor George Osborne, Ed Balls, and BBC Trust Chairman Rona Fairhead. They'll be discussing lizards. No, they'll be discussing cybersecurity, terrorism, and Russia. Or will they? It's a hotly contested question, as I found out last time I spoke about it.
I believed in...
Hey, listen, I'm here to warn people. You keep telling me to shut up. This isn't a game. Okay, our government in the U.S. is building FEMA camps. We have an NDAA where they disappear people now. You have this arrest for public safety, life in prison.
You are the worst person I've ever interviewed.
No, it's basically off with their heads, disappear
David,
them,
thank you for
away.
being with us.
Infowars.com.
Half past 11. You're watching the Sunday Politics. We have an idiot on the program today. Coming up in just 20 minutes.
You will not stop the Republic. Humanity is awakening. Infowars.com. No, you guys are...
Well, we didn't invite Alex Jones back on. I don't know why. Instead, we're joined by another comedian, former Labour speechwriter Matt Ford.
Hello.
Welcome to the programme.
Hello.
Why does this meeting have? Why does it attract all these wild conspiracy theories?
The problem is, I think a lot of things attract wild conspiracy theories these days. I mean, meetings of local government attract conspiracy theories in certain areas. So when you get powerful people all together and there's no official record of it, it's an ideal breeding ground for conspiracies.
It is true that the way they organise it, it kind of almost attracts conspiracy nuts.
Absolutely, yeah.
They're their own worst enemies to that in that regard.
Definitely, but people need a place where they can talk secretly when you're dealing with powerful people. I don't think.
Have you been?
I don't really have a problem with it.
No, like most journalists, I would love to sort of wangle it in the way, but you know, I can well envisage what it's all like. I've been to a few of these forums where you get people from, you know, around Europe or around the world, and you have really boring discussions.
Yeah.
What do we do about inequality? Oh, nobody knows. What are you going to do about it all? And thus it continues. But basically, it's a networking event. I mean, you look at the guest list. You've got Mark Rutte, the Dutch Prime Minister. He's a major ally for Cameron when it comes to European reform. So those are the sort of, it's like the G7. It's a side meetings.
Are you sure you haven't been? You know a lot about it.
Well, I've tried to, you know, journalists spend a long time trying to crack it open to find out, is there a conspiracy? Wouldn't it be great if there was? But, you know, not one I've been able to find. Well, the lizards.
Have you been?
Well, no, I haven't. No, but the problem is, I've spoken to a lot of people that are conspiracy theorists. So I used to have a late-night radio show, and it was a sort of breeding ground for this
There you
sort of
go.
thing. And the problem is with it, even when you prove that there's... So with WikiLeaks, for instance, I don't think there was anything in WikiLeaks about the Bilderberg group. So conspiracy theorists would then say, oh, well, WikiLeaks is a cover used by the establishment to convince you that there have been real leaks when there haven't been.
Exactly.
So you can never convince these people.
What about the lizard people? Have you met any of them?
Oh, they're lovely.
Are they?
They're just a little bit different to us, yeah. I mean, attacking lizards is just another form of racism.
Do you think, I mean, do you think there'll be brainstorming, blue sky thinking, thinking the unthinkable, which is basically a posh way of saying they'll all get pissed over a drink and is that not, and just chat?
Yes, but they will chat with a warm glow inside knowing that they are the global elite. It's a nice feeling. You can imagine Ed Balls thinking, God, I lost my seat, but hey, it doesn't matter. I've got this life membership to the Clever Person's Club. And that's what it's like. It's like any sort of standard London club, except it's just a little bit more secretive and a little bit more
What do you
dull.
think Henry Kissinger and Ed Balls are going to talk about?
Football? God knows. I don't know.
Well, actually, Henry Kissinger's very big on football.
Yeah, probably will be.
Yeah,
It'll be
he's
fairly tedious small talk, I imagine.
Yeah.
And most of the stuff that world leaders talk about, we tend to find out about, because they talk about most of it publicly.
I see. Nothing ever comes out of this, though, does it? They're quite clever in that way, that there's never a consensus paper. There's never a statement at the end, which makes us think, well, if they're not announcing anything, they must be up to something.
Yeah, but nothing much comes out of G7 summits either. I mean, there's a theme to these things. It's just a little sort of knees up for people who don't drink very much.
Artificial intelligence, you see, they're talking about that. Don't you think that's quite sinister?
Well, it's just robots, just computers, isn't it? It's just the next iPhone.
Also,
probably,
they're robots. Are they lizard robots?
They may well be. I mean, the problem is now that you've said that, that's going to be broadcast across the internet as Andrew Neil admits there are lizard robots. That's how this thing works.
I mean, putting the conspiracy stuff aside, I suppose a lot of people's instincts, so it's just if you get this bunch of powerful people meeting in a single place to talk among themselves, that there should be a little bit more accountability and transparency.
I think there's a certain concern about accountability, but the main reason why people like to believe in conspiracy theories, and this is going to sound very harsh, is that if they truly believe the world is being governed by a global elite that truly control everything, that explains where their life perhaps isn't as good as they would like it to be. And they say, well, it's not my fault, it's because these lizard people are pulling the strings and they don't want me to get a promotion.
Okay, well, I have to bring this to a halt because I've got to get the plane that's leaving for Bilderberg in half a helicopter. One of these silent helicopters is whirring outside at the moment. Now, Matt, you've got a new show. You're on Get the Political Party Started as at the Edinburgh Fringe.
Edinburgh Festival, yeah, this August.
Fantastic. Okay, well,
taking the mick out of everyone.
Thank you for being with us today, including Bilderberg.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's fine. We're just grateful for a mention. There's just time before we go to find out the answer to our quiz. Gordon Brown has claimed £732 on expenses. What was it for? Was it A, Wraith Rovers season ticket, that's his local football team, a donation to Tony Blair's Faith Foundation, an anger management course, or ink cartridges? Fraser.
I'd rather hope it'd be spectator subscriptions, actually, but I think it's going to be...
In your dreams.
Well, only one of these is more boring than the rest, so obviously ink cartridges.
And it was ink cartridges. Apparently he bought a ton of ink cartridges.
What for?
And obviously entirely unrelated to the fact that he wasn't going to be able to claim any more Commons expenses. But he has said, and this only shows the probity of Mr. Brown, that he is going to hand back any unused ones.
That's good of him.
Very good.
Makes you feel good. Yeah.